world.
Wow.
John's on a hunt. Something goes wrong. I don't remember what exactly it is that goes wrong, but John's instinct is to just grab the kids and go. And they get like halfway to like whoever's house John's going to dump the kids on next. And Dean's like, Dad, if you don't go back, then people are going to die. Like that monster's going to keep killing people. And John's like, God damn it, this child is right.
Oh my
and so
gosh.
he goes back.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May 2nd, 1988 is the Striga incident. John uses his kids as bait, then gets mad when Dean can't pull the trigger. We had a whole episode about it. We talked about it a lot. It's still infuriating.
Ooh, yeah.
January 24th, 1990. Dean turns 11. He starts concealed carry. That cannot be legal in any state. I don't know what the gun laws are like in a lot of the states, but I know 11's not old enough to carry a gun in any of them.
Such a natural part of a young man's life.
Now I need to look.
The Googling begins.
May 2nd, 1990. John starts struggling because he's realizing that Dean doesn't have the capacity to both be responsible for Sam's life and homeschool Sam. Like, Sam is starting to be really interested in school because Sam's like 6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Even Matilda had a better childhood.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I've heard about reading thing and writing my own name and stuff, and I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, Sam, I think he's been in school at this point. Like, it's not like he's like not been to school, but like he is missing so much because they're moving around so much. And so Dean's kind of left to pick up the slack of keeping Sam up to date every time they move. And it's too much because Dean is a child.
And he's still learning too. And his education sucks too.
And then we have 1991 with the whole Mrs. Lyle thing and Sam killing the deer because he thinks he needs to protect Dean from it. This is when things start to get really bad, I will say, like parenting wise. I know they've been bad already, but
okay.
Christmas 1991.
Oh no.
John misses Christmas. First of all, he's not present. He doesn't make it home. He's 200 miles away from his kids. And Dean gets John some like accessory, some hunting accessory that he stole from a gun show a few months back. And John's just like, well, he shouldn't be stealing unless it's something we really need, but it's kind of nice that he had the thought. And I'm like, us, we're just gonna breeze over the stealing thing and we're just gonna let that slide. He was proud of it. He was honestly, he's like, wow, he shouldn't have done that, but he was proud of the execution.
Oh my god.
This would be funny if it wasn't so horrific.
Yeah.
In a different context, like I would think that's a great joke on a TV show, but this is just so bad because it's so John.
June 21st, 1992, we have the infamous Dad gave me a 45 when I was afraid of the thing in my closet occurrence. Like, that happens. John makes a note of it in his journal. He's like, Sam was afraid of the thing in his closet. I'm like, have a gun, son. Here you go.
You're ready. Get him.
May 2nd, 1993. It's Sam's birthday, and John won't let him go to his scheduled soccer game on his birthday because it's Saturday and he has to train.
Oh my god.
Did you not know when you were signing him up for sports that there would be sports sessions on the weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, part of me thinks that Sam forged John's signature, but...
Oh, yeah.
Not only is it like, just let him go to the scheduled days for the sport that he's playing. Like, he has all of the other days to train. It's also his birthday. Like, if there's one day where you're gonna like let things slide and let him do what he wants to do, it's his birthday.
Literally.
Oh my god. And this is literally like that fucking scene from Holes where like the warden there is like, we had to go out and dig in that lake every day, even on Christmas. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Oh my gosh. I feel like they would get along or kill each other.
There's another Christmas where the boys steal something else for John, and John's just like, it's a necessary evil of our lifestyle. The lifestyle that you created for the John Winchester. Yeah. I hate him so much.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the warden, and like, she's like an evil Dean Winchester.
Or just a regular John Winchester.
Yeah.
Well, the grandfather. But yeah. Well,
it's
all about the cyclical trauma. That was also a story very focused on like cyclical trauma and systems of oppression, and it's probably better than this show.
A psycho parent who trained her to do something, and now she's doing that as an adult, except she's not even nice about it, like Dean. Anyway, but this is off topic.
November 13th, 1955, Sam's in a rebellious stage, but because their lives are hellscapes, rebellion in the Winchester household means wanting to have a normal life, go to college, and also wanting to play soccer still.
How
Sam's a
dare
good
he?
soccer player. One of his teams went to state. He's like actually pretty good.
Nice.
I wish that they'd included that because I would much more readily believe that Sam got into Stanford on a soccer, like a sports scholarship, than
Yeah.
that Sam's just a genius despite his education, where he's never in one school for more than a month at a time.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
would have been so fun if one of like the early episodes too, like featured him just being like really good at kicking stuff. Like he had to kick something in a specific spot and they just got it.
Throw it in the opening scene of the pilot, like like we're meeting Sam and Jess and we're going out for Halloween and whatever. Just like throw in a soccer game. Bing, bing,
Yeah.
boom, done. I believe that Sam's a good soccer player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have also wanted him to kick something. Maybe that's just his like signature move. He doesn't have like any other weapons. It just kicks.
You just punt a skull across an abandoned house.
Yeah. Solid kicks.
But also rebellion. So that just makes me laugh every time. Like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
John describes that as rebellion. January 24th, 1996 is Dean's birthday. And John, as a birthday gift, this is not a birthday gift, John Winchester, sends Dean on his first like real solo hunt so that John and Sam can spend one-on-one time together. It's also a like pretty traumatic ghost hunt where two nuns who were lesbians got like caught and they were killed or they died by suicide. I don't remember. But anyway, their convent was then haunted and Dean had to deal with that. Like, happy birthday.
Oof.
So did they haunt the convent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a convent from like a missionary. So then who knows what other horrible things happened at this missionary?
Yeah. I'm sure
Two.
there was other ghosts present, honestly.
Happy Pride Month, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
will no longer be Pride Month when this episode comes out, but it's currently Pride weekend.
Yeah.
We're gonna take advantage of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I think Pride Month is like, 24/7, 365.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
In our hearts. In our hearts. You
That
know
is
how
true.
like all the Christmas movies are like Christmas never goes away, it, like lives here in your heart. It's like same with
Yeah.
Pride Month.
Exactly.
Every month is Pride Month when you're dramatic as hell.
John also writes in this entry where he's like, I want to spend one-on-one time with Sam. He like also was like, Mary needs to come first. I'm like, dude, it's 1996. Mary's been dead for 13 years.
Yeah.
Also, we know when Mary came back, she would have looked at them and been like, I don't even want these kids like that much. Like that much. Like you need to let all of us kind of go.
I think Mary would have been fine with the
Mary
boys.
would have been, I feel like Mary would have been a better parent than
Mhm.
John. I also feel like she probably would have been like, all right, I'm probably going to abandon these kids at some point, but like, I'm going to make sure that there was someone who can take care of them for the long term
Yeah.
instead of
and-
traipsing them around the country.
And that's
Yeah.
not great, but like it's better than John.
It's
Yeah.
better. It's not great, but it's better.
It's an improvement.
You can't put your dead wife, who's been dead for 13 years, ahead of your two alive children. That's
No.
not how parenting works. That's not how life works.
Nope.
No, that is a dead person. She no longer has needs. I'm sorry.
I don't remember what happened in this entry, August 4th, 1998. It just, the only, what I wrote in my notes is Dean performing his sexuality / masculinity for his father. I'm assuming there was some entry about Dean sleeping around.
Yeah, I think there was something. I do remember John having some line about. There were two different lines. I remember one where he was older, like Dean was older, and John was like, "Oh, I had kids by this point. I was married. Dean won't ever have that, but I can't do anything about that. It's not like I could have like not raised them in this way. That's crazy." And
Yeah,
then there was another
absolutely.
one where it's like, if Dean's not careful, he's gonna have like a bunch of kids. Like
I think that's what this
illegitimate
one
kids
was.
like around.
Was John
Yeah,
was just like
which-
passingly like, I wouldn't be surprised if he already has kids somewhere out there. Like,
So, oof.
we've just been driving across the country and Dean's just been sleeping with everybody.
I use protection, kids.
Mhm.
But then January 24th, 1999, which is Dean's birthday, Dean's away on a hunt, like by himself without John. John and Sam are like trying to kill each other back at whatever motel or
Mhm.
abandoned building they're living in. But Dean's away on a hunt. And John's like, well, I guess I hope that Dean's okay, but I'm really just more annoyed that he's probably out somewhere getting drunk for his birthday. And he's supposed to call in every night and he hasn't. He's not even like worried about Dean's safety. He's just like annoyed that Dean hasn't followed the rules of checking checking in every night.
Which we all know that John, without fail, did every single night he was away. He would always call them.
I'm like, you're not gonna be like, you're supposed to call every night, and then Dean doesn't call every night. He's like, not gonna go check. Like, the purpose of the call every night is so that if the call doesn't come, you go and see if something's wrong.
Literally.
That is the purpose of calling every night, to check in.
Not just so we can hear your voice.
Not just for a quick chat. I can't remember if it was in like Dark Side of the Moon or some other. I feel like it was around like season 4 or 5 though, where someone was remarking about how Sam and Dean have died, but like people have just kind of brought them back to life because they needed them to be vessels and stuff. And all I can think of is, we've probably hit a few of them right now. We've probably hit the majority of them during this childhood where John was supposed to be responsible for them, actually.
Well, there's the whole like shock. They have the whole hero's luck thing in season 15. And it's, that's something we're going to talk about. Actually, I want to get through this list, but then I'm going to come back to that thought.
So they can survive like never seeing a dentist.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. But there's just a couple more on this list, then we're going to talk about that. May 2nd, 1999, Sam turns 16. He learns how to drive for real. May 2nd, 2001, Sam turns 18. John's like, wow, surprise, Sam didn't just run away. He's 18 now. Sam's, oh God, I feel so bad for Sam. I do kind of like it in the journal more than in the show, because in the show, Sam just like mysteriously gets into Stanford and everything's good. In the show, Sam gets held back a year. So he graduates high school when he's 19, and he's like really bitter about it because, you know, like somewhere in like the middle grades, like grades like 3 through 5, they missed so much school that Sam just got held back a grade. And I'm like, that's a much more realistic take on what's happening in their lives. Like, that is a much more accurate representation of the kind of education they're receiving.
You know what? I'd be pretty mad about it too.
Yeah, he's just super bitter about it. October 9th, 2003, John wrote, "You don't stop loving your kid, but you can't let love blind you to what's right." And I'm like, bro, you just disowned your kid for getting a full ride to Stanford. You don't have the moral high ground that you think you have. Like, that was specifically about Sam going to Stanford and not contacting John again. I'm like, yeah, because you told him not to.
I love how we just had this disgusted moment of silence.
I mean,
it's like, what do we say to that?
Fuck John Winchester. I hate that guy.
Sure, we can say that.
With Chuck, Sam and Dean, like, there are more forces above just the demons that are interfering in their lives. Like, God is, and angels and stuff are directly interfering with the Winchesters being born in the first place, and with, you know, meeting this person and meeting that person, and, you know, just, you know, nudging things along. And Chuck is, you know, out here writing their story.
One of the things I love about Supernatural is that on other shows, there's like, you know, the idea of fate, and it's formless and it's inevitable. But on Supernatural, there are people interfering in your life, and you can just go and beat them up if they bug you.
They do that too. Like, they literally go up to Chuck and not knowing who Chuck is at the time, like not knowing the extent of Chuck's powers. And they're like, if you don't stop writing about us, we will find you and we will shoot you with our guns.
Like, that's always an option on Supernatural. If you don't like the plan, just beat the person who made the plan and it'll change. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, they have this whole hero's luck thing that's like revealed in season 15 that they have, because they're the heroes of the grand story of Sam and Dean Winchester. And when they lose that, all of a sudden there's a lot of things they can't do. B, Dean reveals he's never been to a dentist ever. He's in his late 30s. Sam turns out to be really clumsy. Like, that alone is keeping them alive. Like, just that, like, those little tiny things that like don't affect them for like their lives, of like not the car not breaking down unless it's like plot related, or like not spilling things or burning themselves while cooking or whatever, or, you know, not having to go to the dentist or the doctor or anything regularly. I mean, Dean's diet alone should really be like a cardiologist should be involved and a dietitian. But like, all those little things are also keeping them from John's bad parenting.
Just love that hero's luck is just spitting in the face of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I didn't appreciate the episode as a whole. I don't think it needs needs to be there, but it did give me appropriate John rage, and that's always welcome. It's always one more reason to hate John Winchester.
You don't even have to try.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I want to talk about was Mary's deal with Azazel. The thing that starts all of the demonic stuff in Sam's life. Like, this whole thing starts with Azazel, and it starts before he's even born. It starts 10 years before he's born in 1973.
With like the worst shot deal. Oh, Eric Kripke. Why did we have to shoot it like that? Not Doug, Eric.
Like, the network literally came back with notes. They're like, are you sure you want Mary Winchester to kiss a demon wearing her father? And Eric Kripke was like, absolutely, we do. We can't get around it. It could happen no other way.
I wish we could, but we can't.
Eric, why?
He needs help.
I feel like he does stuff like that, and then he would turn around